What's up, guys? This is Sarz, aka Only One Sarz, and just put out a project with Wurld called I Love Girls with Trouble. And also, you guys should subscribe to Accelerate TV on YouTube. Bye.
So we usually start from the beginning when we come here. So how you got into production, if you're self-taught,
Yeah, all the even right down to what you used to listen to then before just tell your story, please.
So how's that first? Is it Fruity Loops
to the whole story.
experience?
I mean, I didn't think I was going to be a producer, to be fair. I was actively playing basketball and I thought I was going to go to college and be like, no, I don't miss the knee pain I used to have, so I don't play as much anymore. I haven't even played in like at least 2 years.
Knee pain brothers.
Yeah, I mean, if you play basketball and you jump and all that, you know it's crazy. Yeah, but I thought I was actually going to play basketball professionally. But I've always loved listening to music, and I had a talent of memorizing beats in detail. So my friend James, was a producer at that time, and they were in a group called the Soldiers. Anyway, so he gave me a demo version of FL Studio. I was like, oh, you should try this out since, you like music, because we're always listening to music while we're just doing stuff. And I'll be like, oh, I like this Timbaland beat. And I'm always like looking forward to the next Timbaland music, the next Pharrell music. I was a huge fan of producers, even more than the artists. So it was like, oh, just try this out. And the first few beats I made when I tried FL Studio was good enough to sell. And I sold a few beats for like 3,000 naira each at that time. This was like 2005.
Yeah, so the moment you started, you were already making money off it?
Kind of, yeah, if you think about it that way. So I was like, wow, okay, I'm really enjoying this. This is actually really good, and I don't have to ask my mom or dad for money anymore, which was super cool. I was like probably 15.
School? What were you doing at school?
I think at that time I just finished secondary school. Yeah, so I was super young.
Where did you go to secondary school?
At that time I was living in Ikorodu, so I went to a private school in Ikorodu. And after that, people just kept talking, oh, this guy is really good. I remember one time I took my beats, I put them in a diskette.
Diskettes.
Floppy disk.
Yeah, I put them in a diskette because I wanted to hear what it sounded like in the studio. Yep. And I went to my friend's studio. It was my first time ever, like in the studio or anything. Yeah. And he was working with an artist, and I kept begging him, please let me just hear my beats. Let me just hear my beats. And he was like, it's working. I shouldn't disturb him. Blah 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 blah. And finally he gave me a chance. He took the diskette from me, put the diskette in, and he played the beat. And after like 6 seconds, he turned it off because the way the kick hits, like it was heavier. No. It was actually like heavier than what it was doing. So because everybody was like, you know that reaction, like, whoa, so if I can just stop it straight. And I was like, take your diskette, Joe.
It never makes sense, say, take.
Take your diskette, Joe. Then the artist he was working with, they came to meet me outside, and they were like, yo, Eston, we'd like to hear, more of your stuff. And I was like, okay, follow me home. I'll play you, what I'm working on at home. And no, but one of the artists then became K9.
Okay.
That's this song called Kokoma.
Was that you?
No, that was him actually. That was Kokoma.
Oh yeah, dancing man.
Yeah. That was him actually. So one of the artists at that time was K9. And yeah, ever since then, I just kept on meeting people. And everyone was like, oh, we like this song, but who made this beat? And that's how I met everyone. First big artist I met was Lord of Ajasa. I produced, I think, 3 songs on his album at that time. I produced one song called Sea Drama. And the song had like really good rotation on radio. people in the industry. Sorry, people in the industry started like making inquiries about me. That's how Rugged Man even knew about me.
Yeah, she said that today.
Yeah, it was like name of the song. We made a song called Banging. Yeah.
Banging.
Yeah. And that's how I met Jabless. So I met Reminisce. And I just kept like working.
That's how you did job.
No, this was even before. This was even before Joe, like way before Joe. Joe was like maybe like 3 years after I met them. Yeah. So I met them. We kept on working. You know, ups and downs everywhere, but I'm here today.
So you mentioned earlier that I started with hip hop beats. Like, so how that switch like to what your sound is? Or even though your sound is evolving now, but how is that like first switch from like hip hop to traditional Nigerian sound?
So my musical background, I mean, I don't have like any musical background, but I wasn't really listening to Nigerian music growing up. I was only listening to, you know, hip hop, pop music.
Who were you listening to?
Everyone, to be honest, from Jay-Z. I was a big Jay-Z fan.
So that's what we would just like to hear.
Unite.
Anything else doesn't matter.
From Jay-Z to Memphis Bleak. I really bumped Joe Budden's first album.
Damn, Joe.
Yeah, Obi Trice, you know.
Cheers.
Yeah, Eminem, huge fan of Eminem. I mean, I still,
Same.
yeah. You know, I guess, you know.
The regular, the
Usual suspects.
Yeah, Bubba Sparks. I mean, anything Timbaland was into, I was into it, you know. So, and that influenced my sound a lot. And I was always making beats like, I was always thinking like, what would Timbaland do? You know, that was my thought process until I met these guys, Jabless, Reminisce, Ibrahim. I mean, you wouldn't know him, but he was part of the crew. Nice, you know, all those guys. And they were totally different from me. I mean, hearing my sound, you would think, oh, this guy would end up with maybe a WFA, like in A2C or Chuck Boys, you know, because those were the guys making like hip hop music, you know, that has that foreign accent. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Not Jabless and Reminisce and co. So, but subconsciously, that really influenced my sound because they were listening. I mean, first off, when they talk to each other, they're always speaking Yoruba.
Yeah.
It made me like understand. My understanding for Yoruba just like where you're picked. Like I lived in Lagos all my life. I couldn't speak Yoruba. I didn't really understand. I didn't care until I met these guys. And now, like, my understanding for Yoruba is so good. Yeah. So, they influenced me so much. They influenced my music. They were listening to Fuji music. They were listening to a lot of Nigerian music. And subconsciously, I started, like, making more Nigerian sounds, but also infusing my essence. Yeah. And I guess that mix made Sarz.
So was that when you were first sent to LD, are you?
No. This LD was 2012, 2011. This what I'm talking about is like 2006, 2007. Yeah, this is like earlier. This was like before Kondo, Dagreen's Kondo.
Dagreen's Kondo, yeah, you on that.
Yeah, this was before Shanks, King Kong. Yeah, so it was that period.
But that's also that's when Jaw happened too.
Jaw happened in 2010. 2010.
The remix?
Yes, the remix happened 2010, I think late 2010. So it spanned into 2011.
So how did it now come about when you now started to do these things with Reminisce? How do you the hip hop lover, how do you now get to the point where, or what's the thought process that makes you construct the sound that that is good for this guy?
I just wanted to make amazing music to the best of my knowledge at that time, and make something that is commercially acceptable. So I can't really explain what the thought process behind it was. It's not like I was like, oh, let me think.
It just comes to you, so
exactly. It just comes like, and I'm like, okay, this is it. This is what we're doing. And Reminisce will always be like, I mean, is it like if you say it's cool, then let's do it. Yeah. I mean, he really like, trusted my sound. Reminisce is one of those guys that, how do I put this? Like he gave me 100% control as regards like the sound.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want me to like dilute anything or change. So whatever I did was good. Unlike other people that I worked with earlier, not even that. Like I would produce songs for them, and when the songs come out, they're probably produced by someone else because they just felt like maybe that's not what the song needs. Yeah. So it happened a lot during that Terry G, K-Solo era.
Yeah.
A lot of songs I produced were reproduced by them because I guess that was what was popping at that time.
Is that your favorite beat of all time that you made?
That's hard. I've made so much. I've made so much music, but I always say like my favorite beats on my laptop, on my hard drive.
That nobody has heard.
Probably, maybe a few people, but you haven't heard it.
So how do you now pick the artist that is best suited for one of the great ones you have?
Depends on the song. If I like the song, that's good to go. Earlier in my career, I didn't really have a say as to what a song should sound like or not. Imagine, like when I was working on Rugged Man, maybe at that time, and Rugged Man's like, I like this beat. Then they record a song on it and maybe send it to me to hear, if they even care to send it to me. Do you get what I'm saying? At that time, even if I don't like the song, I didn't really have an opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't really have it because, I was still like on the come up, so I couldn't really say anything. But as soon as I realized that, can I curse?
Yeah, just feel free to.
As soon as I realized that I'm the shit, then I started having like opinions on, I think you should do this. I think you should do this. I think you should do that.
What I was really wanted to know is how do you then pick out of all those beats that you have?
So it really depends. If we make a great song out of the beats, then it's good to go. Except I just feel like the beat deserves more. Earlier. All these things I'm talking about is in the earlier stages, like when I was more of a beat maker than a producer.
Okay. So do you have themes? Because I feel like you are like themed to artists. Like today there's Reminisce and I'm working with him. Tomorrow there's Wurld. Tomorrow there's Nini. There's Weird.
Not necessarily. I was working with a lot of people. I was working with almost everyone that thought they could work with me. I was working with everybody, but I feel like the world only knows the songs that are popular.
Okay.
Yeah. So and the artists you're mentioning are people I've made commercial success with. Yeah. So and it wasn't planned like, I have a theme or anything, but that's how it always happens. Like you work with a lot of people, but there's some people that you create magic with and. Just it goes out there and everybody's like, Sarz and Reminisce, Sarz and Niniola. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean I haven't like worked with other people. It just probably wasn't, popular enough to get people's attention.
So what was that change from Sarz on the beat to really like was that particular name tag?
I got to be honest, I just got tired of the beats by Sarz or Sarz on the beats. I just wanted something else. And it was exciting for people. There was a tweet I got one time. I saw on Twitter. This guy said, my favorite producers are Sarz, and whoever that really guy is. So that was exciting for me. I think people just like, putting pieces of the puzzle together to find out that, really, it's actually Sarz. Yeah.
What did you say? Really?
Yeah, it's really.
Okay.
Don't ask me why, but it just sounds cool.
It does.
It gets the people going. Yeah.
That sounds cool on New York Jump. So.
Yeah. What about that story and you and convincing Reminisce to?
This was Kakobi Chicken, because Reminisce always rapped in English more, and we've done like a few songs that were cool. They got like good airplay on radio, but they weren't like smash hits or anything. And I remember making Kakobi Chicken, and we're all in the studio, and we all had like a collaborative thought about him, rapping in Yoruba instead of English. Yeah, and it was like, okay, cool, he'll try it, and he did that, and the song sounded fire. Also, at this time, I was already getting like that. Let me put it this way: that song was so hard that I just felt like this song has to work. Like, if this song doesn't, if this song doesn't work for you, if this song is not your like smash song, then I don't know what else I can do. I remember having this conversation with Reminisce, and he told me later on, like after the song became successful, that he actually went home that day and was thinking, he probably cried, like, because he was like, what Sarz said is actually true, like this song has to be it. And I remember we shot the video. The video didn't come out as planned, but I had no choice. I had to put the video out anyway. And the video came out in January, and I was out of the country at that time. And by the time I came back, the song was a smash. The song was huge, and I was like, when did this happen? Because I was only away for like a few weeks. I was like, wow. And after that, sky was the limit for him. He just flew.
So was there any song like that you did with Wizkid that you guys just did it and maybe you were not paying attention, all of a sudden it just takes off?
Nah, all the songs I did with Wizkid, I knew. The only song I wasn't too sure of, just because it was different from everything that was happening at that time, was Jai Jai. Because it was like proper Afrobeats. Yes. Yeah, that was the only song that was like, and when it came out, the reception was, a crawler compared to like other releases we've had that was like instant.
We've now come to understand that is
the
song. We've not come to understand
it just grows on you because it has nowhere else to go.
Yeah, and I feel like that song will never die. Like, that's a classic Wizkid song. That's like top 5 best Wizkid song.
What's your best Wizkid song?
Man, I don't know. I don't even like answering all this.
The best.
Let me play my best Sarz bit. I don't know if I'm supposed to. The mic gets it, but.
Dance for me.
What was that? What was that?
There's a very interesting story for this song. When I was in the studio with Eva making this beat, and she wasn't feeling it. So I was like, I think this beat is fire, sure. So I told Reminisce, like, yo, I have this beat. I think we should do it. I played the beat. I was like, this beat is dope. I said, okay, I'm going to get Wizkid to do the hook, and you rap. You get to be your song featuring Wizkid.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, no shaking. Let's get it done. So I went to the house with Wizkid, and I told Wizkid, I want to do this song with you and Reminisce and everything. And Wizkid was like, no problem. I sent him the beat. I didn't hear from Wizkid for a while. So one day, Wizkid calls me, and he was like, he played the beat on the phone. I was like, who made this beat? Did you make this beat? And I was like, yeah, I made this beat. And I was like, okay, no worries. When I get back to the house, I'll call you so you can come. Then he calls me in the evening and I go to the house and this guy plays a whole song. And I was so in love with the song that I didn't know how to say, yeah.
You know that thing you were supposed to rock back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Azonto? He became an Azonto. That's
dancing, baby.
It was Azonto in the
Yeah.
Yes, now.
So I was like, wow, what am I going to tell Reminisce? But I love this song though. So I was just confused. And I don't think I told Reminisce anything. The song just came out. Yeah.
Did he just find the song in his email or what? How did you sent
Who?
it to him? Wizkid, you sent it to Wiz.
No, I went to the studio and I gave him the song.
Okay.
Like we're all in the studio at their house and I gave him the song and maybe for like a month I didn't, hear anything.
So how did he not find it?
And maybe he was just playing beats and he heard that one. I was like, wow.
Oh.
Or maybe he actually knows and he just played it faster. Who knows? No, we'll never know that story. Yes, but I mean that's what happened, and I had to compensate for what happened with this, and that's why we made a linear. Yeah.
So if you disappoint one person, you have to make something sicker for him too.
I mean, that's what relationships are about, right?
Okay. Yeah. So what Nigerian producers, what's that point where everybody is, what are you aspiring to, what are you trying to do? Because I'm sure this is not all of it. What else are you, what levels do you want to go to? What barriers are you trying to break, trying to conquer?
I've done a lot, however, there's still like so much more to do. And one of my primary goals is to make sure that the producers that come after me are good and they can make, a very comfortable living of producing music in Nigeria. Yeah, and that's why I started my academy. And I've been able to, even throughout the course of my career, I've mentored so many producers, so many. Yeah. And I'll keep doing that. And it's already happening. Like, take, for example, Kel-P. What it took me over a decade to achieve, like international recognition and stuff. You already got that, like in
2 years.
Do you get what I'm saying? And he's already, in big conversations with, with the big game players in the industry. So that's a huge achievement for me. And I really want to do way more than that. I also want to take the stigma out that African parents have for creatives in general, because they just feel like if you're a creative, you're not a serious person, maybe because
Sabi book.
So do you get what I'm saying? But I feel like at the end of the day, parents just want what's best for their child, and they can't see beyond what they know or what they've experienced. That's why they want their kids to, have certain careers that they feel is the right path. You get? So I feel like if I can prove to, which I'm already doing, and also if I can put this in the curriculum of universities, so anyone that wants to be a creative, an artist or a producer can actually do this, in a way parents feel more comfortable.
How does your academy function?
So my academy functions once in a year, and it's open to creatives, artists, and producers, and it teaches them. I mentor all of them, and it also teaches them about the business of music and the legal side to the music.
So they know like all this. I know it's the Nigerian thing, yeah, but they know like all this legal side of the business.
Yeah.
And most artists do. But why is there still that artist and producer fight? Like, do they? So what gives? What's like a good formula? What would you suggest a good formula is?
Like every business, if you're on the come up, you weigh your options. You have to make certain sacrifices. I think as a new producer, working with a big artist for for less than what you will usually demand might be worth it because you get so much exposure. You get paid in exposure. But if it's if that's not
exposure.
No. But I mean,
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
like,
but if
do
but
you-
if
so,
that's why I
okay,
say, as in, you have to like weigh your.
Weigh your-
It's like I said, like a new producer, say for example, wants to work with, or Davido wants to work with this new producer, and it's like, oh, if Davido doesn't have 2 million naira, 1 million, I'm not doing it. Davido's gonna feel like, who the fuck are you? Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? But actually, if you do that and the song is actually fire, and everybody's asking who produced that song, you would make way more than 2 million for everyone else that's coming to you. So I feel like you just need to weigh your options and know where you are in the food chain and just act accordingly. And as you gain more grounds, you can make your own terms, how you want to do your own business.
You produce any of Davido's hits?
No, I haven't worked with Davido yet.
Yeah.
But we will at some point.
It just hit me. Okay, so you were talking about the stigma, the perception of African parents. How did it happen with your own parents? How did they take it when you were doing I Want Make Beats?
Bruh, I mean, my dad didn't even understand what I was doing. He just thought it was a way for me to leave the house, probably go somewhere and rob, and come back, and be like, that's what he thought. But my mom and my brother knew I was super passionate about it, and they supported me. Any chance they get. They also protected me from my dad a little bit, even though they couldn't really do much, So it was super difficult because my dad he just made certain rules and decisions just to make things difficult for me. Like when he knew I was always going to the studio, he gave me coffee to be home by 7 p.m. And you know how artists are. Most of them work at night. So they're just gearing up to start working at 6, and at 7 I have to be home. So how's that gonna? So a lot of times I go home like super late, and he'll say I'm not his son, doesn't know me. I should not enter the house.
So was there a song where it was like?
I was about to ask.
What song change? This is
obviously, when I started having hits on the radio and stuff, and his friends could recognize, oh, your son made this, your son did that. So when they would go out, to have drinks and stuff, they would hear the songs and they'll be like, now your son do this too. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy.
What did he used to call you what did your father call you?
I mean, he calls me by my name, Harrison.
Does he call you Sarz now? Does he call you Sarz on the beats now?
I mean, most of the time, Sarz.
So
that's why I said at the end of the day, I feel like once they see the slightest chance of success,
they start writing for you.
But before then, they just don't understand what you're doing, and they're scared that you're probably going to throw your life away. Yeah.
So is there a level? What can like Nigerian producers do to get to that Pharrell level, that Timbaland level? Is there something?
What needs to change or what needs to happen?
Structure. That's it. I mean, the industry just needs structure. It needs backing from the government, from more private organizations. Certain laws have to be made to protect intellectual property, so we can actually make the money we deserve from our catalogs. So, and that way, compared to producers, like popular producers everywhere else in the world, that can stop producing music for a while, maybe for a year, because they're looking for something new, or they want to like develop an artist and they're not really necessarily working with anyone else. You can't really do that here because you go hungry. Do you get? As in, like,
Yeah.
because you're literally as good as
Your
the last your last hit. So there's always pressure. You know, always pressure. You'll be forced to, you know, put out music just so you can stay in the conversation. So, and it kills creativity, I think. Yeah.
What was the most radical thing you did to rebel when your father was riding you hard?
Bruh.
Were you generally a good boy, aside from the fact that you were a producer?
I was good, but I was also really stubborn. But I wasn't bad. I wasn't like fighting or causing trouble with anyone.
Yeah, you seem pretty chill.
Yeah, I mean, that's story for another day. Maybe
What's wrong with today?
Yeah, but I was very stubborn and super mischievous, which, I mean, can be trouble sometimes. Anyway, I think I left the house for a while. Yeah, so I could just
Do your thing.
do my thing. And when I came back, bruh,
It was hell.
it was hell.
Yeah,
I remember, bro. I remember my mom calling one of his friends that's like way older than he is to come to the house so he can talk to him, you know. And that was my saving grace.
Prevent you from, because he would have killed you.
Bruh, there won't be any Sarz today.
So, Sarz, you know your mate, the album.
Yeah.
Like, what was the inspiration? What made you want to drop it?
It's something I've always wanted to do. It's something people always thought
You should do.
yes, because I make beats that people are like, these things don't even need lyrics. Like, as good as it is, I actually just want to hear it like this. And I've always, you know, wanted to do it, but I just procrastinate. And I thought this was a good time to do it because I have more freedom to express myself. I don't need to prove to anyone that I'm an amazing producer anymore. Yeah, so it was just the right time. And also the title of the album was just
Bragging.
well, I mean, I feel like everyone knows that Sarz is not your mate, but they're just
They should see.
But they're just
Wikipedia Sarz. That's all I need to say.
yeah, but they're just like very super chill about it. So I just wanted to put it in everyone's face so it's aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, like, if my name comes up in conversations anywhere, the first thing someone's going to say is, Sarz is not your mate.
Yeah, it's a nice program.
So, yeah.
So, EP with any of your faves, because you've done an EP with Wurld now. So, should we expect like a collaborative?
How did that happen though? How did you meet him and everything?
I met Wurld in Los Angeles in 2018. And we have a mutual friend. And I remember him coming to the place I was staying at in LA. And I was like, oh, he's going to the studio to see Wurld. I mean, before then, I definitely heard of Wurld. I heard Show You Off. And I thought the song was actually really cool. It had, like, you know, a good tone. So, but when he took me to the studio, it was like, oh, you guys should meet, and maybe Wurld really wants to work with you. Let's see what you guys can do. And in my mind that time, I was like, he has money, Sha. He has money, do Allah. Let's do it. So I got to the studio, but we got to the studio late. He was already rounding up, so we didn't really, you know, catch a vibe or anything. But he said he was at the studio the next day, so I came in the next day. And he played some of his songs. And his songs are like super alternative. They're amazing songs. And in my head, I was just thinking, like, I like this guy's tone. What can I do to
give it like a vibe.
to give him a vibe, to give him an edge as a Nigerian? And I played a few beats. And the first beat I played was Trouble. well, turned out to be trouble. And the next day, he sent me the song. Like the lyrics were almost finished and everything. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, this is it. Like, we just made that decision to work on an EP there and then. As in, I just knew it wasn't something I wanted to, it wasn't a one-off for me. I wanted to like really just see how much I can harness his tone. And we decided to work on an EP. And the EP is out today. It's actually #1 on iTunes now.
That's a very dope. That's a very dope EP.
Yeah.
What are these relationships?
EP with any other person?
There's so many people I'm going to create music with, but I guess, we'll see them as they turn out.
Okay, yeah. So that we can wrap up. What's next? What's next for the future? Now we know that you're just done with this EP for.
Yeah.
What's the very next immediate thing you're on?
I'm currently working on my album. It's going to be out next year. Not an EP, an album. Huh?
Sarz is not your mate too.
Sarz is still not your mate.
I mean, that's not what I'm gonna call my album, but I feel like for this my EP series, it might stay. It might stay something, but for the album, it's gonna be something entirely different.
You haven't decided yet?
Haven't decided yet. Going to be DJing a lot. I enjoy DJing now, and it's also a way to just. I'm just in a really good creative space where I just really want to express myself and see how far I can take, this Afrobeat narrative from my own perspective, from my own circle. So I'm just doing things that I'm passionate about, things I'm excited about. Not necessarily what people want me to do or not. However, everyone loves it so far.
So is it like an album, same theme, no voice, no sound?
No. Definitely going to be songs. Okay. Definitely going to be songs. I might have.
Rap or sing?
I was gonna say, can you?
There's a song I rapped on my birthday one time. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but look at the tell you the name of that song. No, it's out. Okay. The song is actually on someone's album. Yeah, people knew about it, but I guess that memory has faded.
It was whack.
No, actually, it wasn't whack.
So why couldn't you?
No.
We gotta look for it.
You probably find it. You most likely find it if you look for it.
All right.
So it's an album.
Yes, an album. Okay. Not singing or anything, but a proper album with exciting features.
Do you know any of them so far?
Yes, but
Usual Suspects, Wizkid.
We'll see. But album I'm working on is something that I want to, even more than ever, unite African music and the world. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of strategic collabs.
Yeah, okay, so thank you for coming and
thank you for having me.
Telling us your truth.
Thanks, G.
No worries, thank you.
That's the whole truth.
Even though we would have liked some gossip about Wizkid, but you don't seem like you like to gossip.
Bring Wizkid that should gossip about himself.